Okay. I'd like to start my speech in three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a 12-year-old kid being enrolled in college? Or have you seen the latest TikTok about a 14-year-old girl that has been into the faculty of medicine of a British university? When you see that, don't you think, wow, isn't that just amazing? This exact event has proven that age doesn't limit a person's intelligence. Imagine being held back in your classroom when in reality you are way more advanced than that. Is that going to simply be a waste of time? Therefore, we like to abolish school years that group children based on age. Set up, I have 2 points. What does our current status quo look like? And secondly, how does our mechanism work? In this case is how school groups students based on age. Nowadays, people find it very normal, or it's been normalized that kids, for example, when they're 12, they'll be in junior high school, and when they're 15, they'll be in senior high school. But do notice that the fact that this status quo has been happening for a long time, and it's been very harmful for our children. Why? Simply because underachievers are undermined, condemned, and excluded. Overachievers are held back and prevented from reaching their full potential. How does our mechanism work? We will hoard or create an evaluation test after junior high school. That means it cannot be used as a selection method to pursue higher education. Secondly, we will test students' capabilities such as social studies, science, and math before we arrange them into classes. In this approach, we will create a tailored education where the intelligence of all students can receive instruction at a level that matches their abilities, ensuring that they are neither bored by material that is too easy nor overwhelmed by material that is too advanced. Important note, we don't think that students that have significantly less academic performance are intelligent. We understand that some students are underperforming due to their social environment, friendship circles, lack of comprehension, education support, and etc. Just a question. I have three, but firstly, why is it harmful for and very disadvantage for the group children based on age? Now, well, I have two sub-arguments for this. First of all is impact for smart kids and impact for kids who have truly mastered the school material. Now, firstly, realize that the world is always full of miracles. Some kids are lucky enough to be born as a genius, and are we sure that it's okay to hold them back in class that they are actually have mastered? First, let's talk about efficiency. In a competency-based system, students can progress at their own pace. Those who grasp concepts quickly can move on, placing students in a class based on intelligence can help identify and nurture their talents and strengths from a young age. It allows high-achieving students to reach their full potential and receive advanced instruction. Smart students can progress more quickly through materials that they grasp easily. This allows them to delve deeper into subjects, explore more advanced topics and concepts, and potentially graduate earlier if desired. Intelligence-based grouping can put smart students in classes with peers who have similar abilities and interests. This can lead to more meaningful peer interactions and collaboration, potentially enhancing the overall learning level experience. Now, a curriculum that matches their intelligence level better can better prepare smart kids for advanced education, such as honors classes, gifted programs, or college courses, as they have a strong foundation in their subject areas already. Now, what is the impact for kids who haven't fully mastered the school material, but are forced to pass the grade and move on to a higher one? Underperforming students are badly left behind in their studies, and they lack years of education that can lead to them being left behind for years in high school or even college. If you take a closer look at your surroundings, you are bound to find one of your classmates who always gets 0, 20, or 30 out of 100 in every test. Even though it was a bit shameful at first, but now people are trying to normalize it in the context of, oh, it's only because the subject is hard, when in reality it's really not that trivial. How come? We should notice that every kid is blessed with different types of intelligence, but if we took looking back to our current status quo, we shall see that now some students are having this toxic and stupid mindset. This I don't care if my grades are bad as long as I get promoted to the next grade. This means or shows that now students' main focus is not studying anymore, and this will shape their personality to be very indifferent towards school. And while they do this, the quality of education and stuff is being questioned. Now, second argument is why is it best if we group students based on their competency and intelligence? Firstly, why is it best if we group these students based on their competency and intelligence? Because if we let these kids who are obviously smarter than their peers go to higher classes or grades, then we can make sure that these kids are learning things that are actually up to their intelligence and competence. And so they aren't just wasting years of their life learning stuff that they already know and having to wait years and years and years so that they can go and get challenged again by materials or subjects that they have already exceeded years ago. And instead, they can go focus on the harder materials from the subjects that they can constantly learn things that are useful to them. This also makes it so that these kids who are smart, who are smarter and more competent, are allowed to use that intelligence and make huge leaps in their knowledge. Just like if you put a child who has of a fifth grade studies, and then we see their where their interests actually lie, and we find that they have the skills and intelligence of a ninth grader. Then they can go and study ninth grade materials, thus making it so that they don't need to wait years and years to get there and learn things that are new and challenging to them instead of just cruising through and not learning anything new at all. Secondly, parents will also get benefits since if their child is born a genius and are able to skip grades that they don't need to pay for a full 12 years of school. Since if their child can go and skip year 6, 7, and 8, they won't need to pay for tuition for those years. If their child is going to skip all those years, and it saves them money to be able to save up for their child's tuition. The tuition from primary all the way to college obviously gets more and more expensive. So if these kids are able to skip grades, parents can save money to get these kids into college, and it's also a giant help for families that aren't able to support their kids financially to send them to school, since maybe they're so poor that they aren't able to send their kids to school, or they need the child when they reach a certain age to go to school, and but instead they have to work with them to sell things to make money and put food on the table and their basic necessities. And parents will obviously be very, very appreciative of this, since They want the best for their child, and them being able to see and fund their child all the way through the college because the child was able to pass some grades and maybe get a scholarship, then they will obviously love for this change to happen. Since financial situations are always what's on the mind of parents, especially on lower income families, they want their children to live a better life than them in the least amount of time possible, and this is a way in which we can achieve that. Now, my third argument: how do we handle the concern of ageism, bullying, and also injustice about the stereotype and concern about giving worse or low performing teachers to the lower ranked students? First, let's talk about ageism and bullying. What does ageism mean, and what does it have to do with in this case? Ageism offers often involves making it assumptions about a person's maturity or capabilities based on their age. In an intelligence-based grouping system, younger students may face biases from teachers or peers who assume they are less mature or capable due to their age, even if their intelligence level is on par with or exceeds that of older students. Older students may experience pressure to excel academically and serve as role models for younger students, which can affect their social and emotional well being. This pressure can be a form of ageism, assuming that older students should automatically excel in all aspects of their education. Therefore, how do we prevent this ageism and bullying from happening? Firstly, for teachers, we would have to create comprehensive teaching training to ensure that all teachers receive training in recognizing and addressing ageism, bullying, and stereotypes, emphasizing the importance of treating every student with respect, regardless of their intelligence level or age. Second one is by promoting inclusivity because it's important to ensure that all students, regardless of their age or intelligence level, feel included and valued in the learning environment. Addressing ageism involves creating an inclusive atmosphere where each student's unique strengths and abilities are recognized and respected. Second, how do we respond to concern about favoritism that will put teachers in bad quality and advanced and not as advanced academic potential? We don't want because we are focused on making a transparent criteria to ensure that the criteria for teacher assignments are transparent and based on qualification, experience, and expertise rather than perceived student intelligence. Which means that we are giving the best quality education for everybody and not just playing favorites. Now, practically, how are our arguments going to affect the world that we live in, and how do we make this proposal come true? Implementing a practical system of grouping children based on their intelligence rather than age is a complex endeavor that demands careful planning and execution. To begin, education institutions must establish a comprehensive assignment framework that grades its students' intelligence and competencies accurately. This may involve a combination of standardized tests, teacher evaluations, and ongoing performance monitoring. Once the data is collected, it needs to be thoroughly analyzed to categorize students into appropriate intelligence-based groups. Considering their individual learning needs, customizing the curriculum to cater each student's specific requirements is essential. Providing advanced materials for high achievers and additional support for those who require it is equally vital is a thorough training of educators to adapt their learning methodologies to the diverse needs of these groups. Ongoing monitoring, flexibility, and mobility between groups, and a commitment of inclusivity and equity are critical and crucial aspects of successful implementation. Moreover, transparent communication with all stakeholders, including parents and the community, helps build trust and understanding. Regular evaluation and adjustments ensure that the system remains effective, fostering a dynamic and supportive learning system. Now, for trade in conclusion, the concept of grouping children by challenges rather than age offers a potential for more customized and effective education. It can ensure that each student is appropriately challenged, fostering efficient learning, and maximizing the true potential. Is essential to address the potential drawbacks, including concerns about social development. But we believe that it will be make an equitable education solution for deficient needs, which is why we're very proud to propose. Thank you.